had a good week last week and could continue to play well this week too.
Another Swede happy to be south of the equator is Anna Nordqvist. With 5 professional wins under her belt, Anna had a sensational round 2 with 8 birdies from 18 holes. Get in! Oh! One of the stars of the LPGA Tour down here in Australia, Suzanne Petterson, might soon be crowned world #1. Yesterday, she showed us why.
She looks surprised.
Last week on the Gold Coast, Australia's leading amateur matched Masters champion Cheyenne Woods stroke for stroke until the very end. This week in Melbourne, she has the potential to claim the Patricia Bridges Bowl all to herself, despite humble expectations.
What are you hoping to get out of the Open?
Leading top 5.
World #4 Lydia Ko's stature on the golf course belies her age. At just 16 years old, the Kiwi has captured the attention of the gallery on the sandbelt.
Oh, yes, Lydia Ko! You are a superstar.
They're all superstars this weekend in Melbourne. It's moving day at Victoria Golf Club. We're celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Isps Handa Australian Open. Hello and welcome to our Day 3 coverage of the Australian Women's Open Golf. I'm Stephanie Branson. I'm joined in studio by 1997 winner of the Patricia Bridges Bowl, Jane Crafter. Jane, we've got a stellar field here and some truly amazing golf.
We do. It's terrific to see all of these great places, all of these great players, come over here to the Sandbelt. And I know they're just loving this golf course. Victoria Golf Course just setting the stage for these fabulous players.
Sure is, and we've got an interesting little maybe subplot at the top of the leaderboard, Jane, with the Scandinavian rivalry developing.
Yeah, we certainly do. It's sort of following the Winter Olympics, isn't it, really? Neither of them getting a whole lot of sleep at night as they're watching their fellow countrymen, but Caroline Headwall just had a sensational day yesterday, as did Anna Nordqvist. She played beautiful golf. Fun to watch little Minjee Lee, Australian amateur champion as well, and nice to see Paula Creamer with her first visit to Australia down there.
Indeed, and her compatriot Jess Corder, we know what she can do on the sandbelt, so watch out.
We certainly do. Another little player from China who resides in Singapore, Jin Yang, currently holds both the British Girls Junior and the British Women's Amateur Championship, so she is a young superstar as well.
Yeah, the young girls doing an amazing job here, but they are chasing 2 quite experienced players at the top. Caroline Headwall holds a 1-shot lead, and a Swede was the first to be presented with the Patricia Bridges Bowl. Can she follow suit?
Well, wouldn't she love to have the career that Annika Sorenstam has had? Caroline Headwall is a feisty, fiery player, quite strong, hits the ball a long way, and has quality golf shots like this the last couple of days. And the putter is obliging as well, Steph.
Isn't it ever? She had a stunning round yesterday. But hot in her heels, 1 shot behind, Suzanne Petterson, Norwegian.
Well, she has eyes on #1. Says she doesn't really. She's trying to work on just the process, play golf as good as she can, and then the rest of it will take care of itself. The flat stick finally catching up to her long game.
Amazing amount of experience there with Suzanne Petterson, but how about Minjee Lee?
Oh, this is fun to watch. Just 17 years of age, from Perth, plays out of Royal Fremantle. Terrific last week, just barely missed out on the Ladies Masters title, but she is playing some fabulous golf, the best of her young career. And you know, everyone at Golf Australia is extremely proud and would love to see her win.
Well, she's just having so much fun too. It's a joy to watch her play with a huge smile on her face, Minjee Lee. And we've got more exciting golf coming up right now. But Jane, extraordinary round yesterday from many players. Are you expecting the same?
Well, it's going to be interesting because I think this golf course, I think many people expected it to play a lot tougher, but we've had pretty benign conditions, and I'm going to be fascinated, Steph, to really see if that holds up as well today.
Well, it will be very interesting to see what those conditions are like. So how about we go and find Sandra McKenzie out on the golf course. Sandy, how are the conditions?
Well, Steph, the conditions have actually changed a little bit this morning. It was very humid this morning. Quite hot, sun was coming out. Now, that southerly has just stepped up a notch at the moment. Overcast, so just cooled down a little bit. But let's take a look at the all-important weather forecast. Top temperature of 27 degrees. Humidity is well up, as I said, at 75%. Now, the wind is going to pick up a little bit, between 20 to 30 k's. So up on the previous 2 days. Possibility of a late shower, but the radar does look fairly clear. So hopefully we will get through today without too many dramas. And I've got to congratulate Superintendent independent Ian Todd. He's got this course in absolutely magical condition. And I'm just milling around on the practice green here. This is what the players do prior to starting their round. And you can see over here Minjee Lee just having a little bit of a putt behind her, our tournament leader, Caroline Headwell. And they've already done the hard yards. They've already been down the practice fairway, gone and had a cup of coffee, and now they're just waiting for their tee time. So just a little bit of a chat, a little bit of a roll of the putter, and raring to go. So looking forward to some incredibly exciting golf today. So I will pass up now to Peter Wilkins and Kate Burton in the commentary box.
A very good afternoon and welcome. A magnificent day ahead of us on the course. Still sublime conditions. As Sandy mentioned, that wind is expected to pick up. Will it influence the players this afternoon? This morning, though, still fairly benign, and a couple of players have made moves. One, which will delight many followers of Australian golf, Kari Webb, 4 under par, so 7 behind overnight. The 4-time champion, this her hybrid to the first hole. It's reachable, and Kari watched it bound down towards the green and onto the green. A superb shot from Kari Webb to set up an eagle opportunity, but she ended up birdieing that hole to get away to a very, very good start.
And certainly stepping up a gear, Kari, the 4-time Australian Open champion. Here she faces a birdie putt at the third, currently 5 under par. Thanks to that opening birdie, a par at the second, and another birdie at the third. Kari on the charge.
Now, another mover today, 19-year-old Frenchwoman, Perrine Delacour. Her first trip to Australia, on her way to her best ever round in a professional tournament. It included an eagle at the 8th hole. That was for eagle at the 18th. So a brilliant round of 65 for Perrine Delacour. She turns 20 in April and only arrived on Wednesday.
Lovely putt from Perrine Delacour to finish in style. And here once again we find Kari Webb, an eagle putt on the 8th hole. Will catapult her to 8 under par. The crowd loving every minute. Kari right in form here on day 3 at Victoria.
Now Chella Choi, another one to make a move. An eagle at 8, a birdie at 9, a birdie at 12, and this for birdie at 14. Straight in the cup. So some movement early on day 3, moving day, as we confirm the leaderboard as it stands. Caroline Headwell and Suzanne Pedersen yet to tee off. Minjee Lee, 9 under, also yet to tee off. And those players out on the course, Perrine Delacour from France to 8 under par after that 7 under round. Chella Choi to 8 under also. She's 5 under for the day. Kari Webb, the 4-time champion, making a tremendous start. The body language yesterday, she was a bit out of sorts. That was reflected in her score, but she's bounced back today. The American contingent ready to strike. Morgan Pressel has started out well also. She's been ghosting up the leaderboard as we head to the first hole. Kate Burton, and this is a teasing start as we see the ball positions from Lydia Ko and also Holly Clyburn. She's gone for it and ended up with a bit of work to do by the look of it.
Well, both of them, it will be Clyburn was probably to play first, and not much green to work with for Holly Clyburn. Oh, look at that lie. Not so much the lie, it's just got to contend with a bunker and not a great deal of green to play with. Yeah, fortunately that was always going to happen. And it's so enticing, the opening hole, Wilco. You want to go for it, it's a short par 4, but if you just tap your drive a little bit wayward, can come unstuck.
Yes, a brilliant chance. Debbie Claire Schreffel with an opportunity. And it falls in. So a well-judged putt, and Schreffel moves to 8 under par after 4 holes. So players rocketing up the leaderboard, used to the course after a couple of days out. Lydia Ko from long range for eagle at the first. It's well short.
It can't stop there, surely. My goodness me. Didn't think it was quite high enough, but I thought it would run down from that slope and trickle towards the hole. And now she faces a real difficult putt. Second hole, young lady from France, Karine Cher. This player just gets better and better. She took a little bit of time off a couple of years ago to have her daughter, baby Lola, but she has improved after having children. Not often you could say that about many of the golfers, but really coming into her own.
Well, this first hole here, it is a teaser, as you mentioned, and delightful short holes. It just proves that you don't have to have a 400-metre par 4 to make it entertaining. Here, the players look at the conditions. They can go for the green. They can be penalised, though, in the bunkers or if you're off the cut portion. As we watch Holly Clyburn for birdie. And that's not going to have the legs. And a little bit of work to do for the par too, so you'd be thinking you've given one away to the field. A lot of the leading players have all birdied the first. Delacour, Choi, Webb, Jessica Corder, Amelia Lewis, Morgan Pressel, they've all had birdies at that first hole. Now, waiting on the tee, Minjee Lee. And the contrast there, what a tremendous pairing today. The 17-year-old Australian amateur with the slight frame and the beaming smile. And then you've got a lady who shot that big round, Anna Nordqvist, 8 under par, course record, a major winner.
Difficult putt for Lydia Ko. There's going to be a fair bit of movement in this. Oh, that was superb.
What a start for Lydia Ko to 9 under par. That makes up for the disappointment of the first putt. Hole the second one. No trouble at all.
That was a brilliant 2-putt. A very difficult part of the green. Left herself with a fair bit of work, but, well, setting the tone and setting the pace early for Lydia Ko. Now, Holly Clyburn needs this to save par.
Well holed. It'll stem the tide of nerves for Holly Clyburn. She's just turned 23 a week or so ago. Battling for rookie honours with Charlie Hull last year. As we go back to the first hole and the crowd gathering today with the expectation of some grand golf, with the leading pairs about to head out, Minjee Lee and Anna Nordqvist, then Caroline Hedwell and Suzanne Petterson. We, at the moment, have 5 major winners within 3 shots on the leaderboard, so a tremendous couple of days in prospect for us.
I was probably wondering why they're waiting for the green to clear. We know that Lydia Ko and Holly Clyburn have already ventured onto the second. We have a bit of a crossover here with the 10th tee. So most probably waiting for the players to drive off the 10th. Good look back down the opening hole.
Now Sarah Kemp, the Australian, at 4 under par, can vault up the leaderboard with this eagle putt at the 8th. Well done, Sarah Kemp. To 6 under par for Sarah Kemp. She had the par routine going up until then, but that's a terrific boost for her round. Chella Choi, 9 under par, second shot to 16. Well, that's the tee shot to 16.
Superb. Has her dad on the bag. He said, I'll caddy for you until you win an LPGA tournament. So he's still there. Could this be her week? Now, Minjee Lee. What a dazzling prospect she is.
Oh, that's a wonderful start for Minjee Lee. She's hit 17 of 18 fairways, or greens
Anna
I should say, and
Nordquist.
16 of 18 across the 2 days. Tremendous statistics. And she just keeps on producing. Now Anna Nordquist with that brilliant 8 under 64 yesterday. She's got new clubs, made a few swing changes this year, playing with the TaylorMades, and she is in good spirits heading into the new year. It's going to find the bunker not far away, a pin high, but that's an awkward bunker shot. Let's have a little bit of green to work with, but we'll find out the position of the ball very, very shortly. Under grey skies, but very, very good play is going to be approaching now. Ariane Skarpnord, an eagle putt.
Ball remains above ground for Marion Skarpnord, one of the very few players out here with an anchored putting stroke. Got the belly putter out. Not sure for how much longer she'll be able to employ that tool in her golf bag, but solid birdie for Skarpnord, 8 under par.
And she has the shape of her partner Richard Green on the bag just for a couple of tournaments until he plays the Vic Open next week. 3-time winner on the European Tour. Chella Choi, 9 under after 15 holes. So it was her second to the 15th, and she's going to be playing the par 3. 16th, Minjee Lee striding out, an eagle opportunity at the first. Sandy caught up with her just before her round.
Well, Minjee, this is becoming a common occurrence, you and I having a chat. Great 2 weeks for you.
Yeah, it's been really good, and I'm really excited for this round.
Very big field this week. You've got some of the best players in the world. Are you thriving playing with them, or is it a little daunting?
I think it's a bit of both. You know, you've always dreamed of playing on the LPGA, and this is basically what it's like on tour. So, yeah, it's exciting, but still it's kind of a little bit nervous, and yeah.
Golf course suiting you? Conditions have been pretty good the first couple of days.
Yeah, it's been really good. I really like the golf course, so yeah.
Well, you are thrilling everybody, so hopefully there's 2 more rounds to come. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, it doesn't give a great deal away. Minjee Lee, always got a smile on her face. And what a gap year she faces. Graduated from school last year, so he's going to play full-time golf. Maybe try Q school at the end of the year, but the local flag bearer here this week. And then let's go to another one. Kari Webb charging up the leaderboard. Birdie putt on 10.
Yeah, difficult from that position, and it just got a little bit of the wanders as it ran out of steam, but she's going to tap in for a par for Kari Webb as we go back to the first, and this looks... Well, we don't know what the shot is. Anna Nordquist at 8 under par. Nordquist with just a brilliant performance yesterday. In fact, the first 2 days, she hit all greens, 18 of 18, 100% greens in regulation yesterday, and 16 of 18 in the first round. And this, she seems to have a bit of sand, but sometimes it doesn't always come out that way. Very steep ball.
Oh, didn't sound like there was a great deal of sand in there at all, but she knew it, compensated for it, and that's a good shot on this opening hole. Very makeable birdie putt. You know,
so that greens in regulation average will stay the same despite not landing it in 1. She's on in 2 on the par 4. Anna Nordquist, and she has finished quite well in the Australian Open. She is a major winner of the LPGA Championship, and she is a prolific winner, but not for some time, until the end of last year, where she had some good performances there. Minji Lee. Come on.
Well, there's an uphill tap in for a birdie for Lee. They're all chasing the outright leader, Carolyn Headwall. Will be ready to tee off very shortly. Here she is on the first hole, chatting with Suzanne Pedersen. They're good friends. They're Solheim Cup teammates. I was probably having a bit of a chat. I'm not sure what the medal standings are at the moment between Sweden and Norway in the Olympic Games, Winter Olympics, but they would have been watching that. Both very aggressive players. They both hit the ball hard, and their long irons are superb.
It's both prepared to make a mistake here and there. If you're chasing birdies or eagles, that's their attitude. Although Richard Green, the experienced veteran on the bag of Marianne Skarpnord, says it is a conservative type course. You should try and play it as it is set up to avoid the danger, but some players have a different approach and just go and blaze away. And if you land it in a bunker, as we watch Karine Isher, birdie putt.
Just a tentative stroke from the start. Clearly wasn't convinced about it as she stood over the ball. You always think, I should back away. And you think, oh no, I'm sure it will go in. Well.
Now, Anna Nordqvist has been well placed in the last couple of Australian Opens. Tie for 12th last year and tie for 10th the previous year. She's a perennial visitor. What is this new year going to present? A birdie putt at the first. Not too much in it, but perhaps one away to the field for Nordqvist. Has to tap in for par, and she remains at 8 under. Now Minji Lee, just a one bogey, one eagle and 8 birdies to her credit so far. And she played the tournament up at Royal Pines almost bogey free as well too. She just keeps it in the fairway and on the green. This for birdie. Smoothly struck. Safely in. Minji Lee away to a good start. 10 under par.
It really is a terrific opening hole, Wilco, the first.
Please may welcome from Sweden, Caroline Headwall.
Kate, there's a little bit of breeze blowing on this first hole today. It's blowing directly behind them, so it's going to be a little bit of an assistance. Big changes have been made to this hole over recent years. There was a big front bunker that allowed a very little room to make this green, and they've flattened the green down at the front a little bit, so made it a little bit more accessible. Just with the iron for Caroline Headwall. Now the line is good. Depends what kick it gets.
Geez, that's with a long iron.
Wow, that's really something, isn't it? That's some sort of shot.
She hits it hard.
Please make welcome from Norway, Suzanne Pedersen.
Right out of the blocks for Caroline Headwall. Superb shot.
I am so looking forward to watching these two go head-to-head today. They're both such aggressive players.
Well, Caroline hit 4-iron yesterday. Managed to make birdie. That was probably a 4-iron again, and this is probably about the same.
Good contact from Suzanne. Going a little further left, though. She's going to miss the green left. Oh, got a fantastic kick.
Oh, look at this. Chase up towards the hole. Sit down.
I don't know what she knew there, but that's going to trickle off to the bunker.
And that was unfortunate because she now faces a horrible bunker shot, short-sided herself. But look at the yardage they're getting off the tee. 233 metres, 4-iron, centre of the green. That's 250 yards. That's some going.
Well, as they walk up to the first, Headwall with a birdie opportunity. We're at the second, the 353 metre par 4. Second shot, Lydia Ko. What a shot from Lydia Ko. Virtually a tapping, she can't believe it. Tremendous iron. And she's been right up there in the statistics of play. 82% of fairways she's hit over the 2 days. She is straight. Oh!
Chilla Choi is on fire. Look at that lovely run of birdies on 14, 15 and 16. Really making a charge, 10 under.
Yesterday afternoon, not a lot of putts were going in. Today they're going in from everywhere. Amelia Lewis obliges as well in the colourful ensemble today.
You think she's colourful? Check out her caddy.
Oh, he's matching, isn't he?
He is. Not with the skirt, I should say. There are pads. Ko stays at 9 under, right in the mix. Well, these two, well, Caroline Headwall's superb opening iron. If she says she hit a 4-iron yesterday, most probably the same club today. And then Suzanne Pedersen. It's going to be a very tough assignment for the world number 2 to get up and down. Look at that, a couple of meters of green to play with, and it all depends on the lie in the sand.
Yeah, so just a clarification, Lydia Ko wasn't in trouble. She had to chip out, and so that was her 3rd shot and in for par. I hope we didn't confuse too many people. We were probably a little bit confused ourselves in some departments, but tremendous shot nonetheless. Doesn't take it away from that shot. Well played.
Temperatures have certainly picked up today. Very warm and humid out there. Now, not quite sure what you can read into that lie. Some of the lies that you do get in the bunkers hardly have any sand at all. So she has got some.
Kate, you can see how open she's got this club face. No room to work with. This is just a horrible place.
It's a very good shot from there. A lot of the players saying, you know, you really do have to take your medicine.
Well, Kari Webb, a par at the 10th. This is her 3rd shot at the 11th. Mr. Green to the right. A bit of green to work with, nonetheless. A bit of a task. Splashes it nicely. Now run out. A little bit deceptive, but I don't think she's as close as she would like to be.
Caroline Headwall has recorded 3 eagles so far in her campaign here at the Australian Open, and this is for her 4th.
Well, if she makes this one, Kate, it'll be some sort of read. It's not a great spot to be in. She's sitting on a slope. There's a little ridge runs directly across in front of her, but then once she gets over that ridge, there's going to be a reasonable amount of right to left in this putt, and it's going to be quick. So all in all, good luck.
Putting pretty well, averaging 1.61 putts across the 2 rounds so far. Headwall for eagle at the first. A dribbler.
Not an easy putt. Par saver required for Kari.
Well, we're coming up to a point as Kari Webb leaves the green, where we're going to welcome some international visitors to the coverage. 3rd round of the Australian Open.
It's moving opening day at Victoria Golf Club. Only the very best of the world's female golfers remain in contention for the Patricia Bridges Bowl at the Isps Handa Australian Open. It's great to have you joining us from all around the globe for our coverage of Day 3 of the Australian Women's Open. Former winner of this tournament, Jane Crafter, it's a hot field here, and aren't they turning it on?
Oh, they really are. And I expected that the Victoria Golf Course would hold its own, but it doesn't seem that that's happening. These players from all over the world are playing superb golf, and we are in for an absolute treat this afternoon, Steph.
In the box seat here, Jane, and the overnight leaders have just teed off. Carolyn Headwell still with a one-shot lead.
Yes, she's just teed off on the very short par 4. But look at Chella Choi. She is just rocketing up the leaderboard, 7 under today, and also the young Frenchwoman, Perrine Delacour.
Yes, Jane, well, we're going to head out to the fairway, join our commentators, and it's Suzanne Pedersen for birdie at the first.
Just a glorious day at Victoria. This after a fine bunker shot, difficult position. No, he was looking for a bonus. It didn't eventuate. So perhaps one loss to the field as well for Pedersen. She taps in for a par at the first, but there'll be plenty of birdies coming from the blade of Pedersen today. The world number 2. Minjee Lee at the second hole, a par 4.
We're getting it all the way back there. Being located at the back of the green, there's going to be a bit of a slick putt from all the way back. But well, certainly doesn't seem to test her mettle, Wilco, does it? Every shot she plays so calm and composed. But a birdie putt here now to extend the lead at the top for Headwell.
Straight in for Headwell. A birdie at the first to 12 under and a leader by 2. Nordqvist, second shot to the second. Oh, that's a fine effort. It rolls to within just a metre and a half. A chance for birdie for Nordqvist. Sandy caught up with Nordqvist at just before her round.
Anna, it's never a surprise to see you shoot lights out. Great round of 64 yesterday.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very happy, you know, to get a low one in this early in the season.
This is your first event of the year?
Yes, it is.
And you'll go on to play Thailand, Singapore after this?
Yeah, I leave for Thailand tomorrow, but it's a fun stretch. Always love coming back to Australia, and Melbourne is one of my favorite cities in the world, so I'm very happy to be here.
This is one of our famed sandbelt golf courses. How are you finding the setup of this course?
You know, I think it's a fun setup. You have a couple, or first one, the drivable par 4, and a couple good par 5s where you can reach. So I think it's fun. You definitely have to stay on your toes because it will eat you up if you're not on it. But you know, it reminds me a lot about Royal Melbourne. We got the honor to play a couple years ago, and you know, it's fun. It's different kind of golf, but you know, you really have to be creative, and I like that.
Well, it's never easy to back up a really great round, but all the best for today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anna Nordqvist. Now Minjee Lee for a birdie putt.
It was the right idea, always going to break from the right, just not quite as much as she thought. But opened up with a birdie on the first hole, and Minjee Lee just 2 back from Headwell at 10 under.
Lydia Ko at the par 4, second. Birdie par start. Oh, almost drained it. What a shots from Lydia Ko.
Things are getting hot out there, and it's not just the weather. How good is Lydia Ko playing? And another birdie opportunity now for Anna Nordqvist.
Smooth and silky from Anna Nordqvist. 9 under par. What a congregation of talent at the top of the leaderboard in the Australian Open. Headwell the leader by 2.
Just got to be a little bit careful here of the bunk on the left, but that's not going to affect her. That has split the centre.
She's brimful of confidence, Carolyn Headwall.
Well, the second hole yesterday, it was a driver and 50-degree wedge for Headwall. She does give it a belting, depending on the wind conditions. Kate Burton.
Well, it's a relatively narrow landing area for a number of the pros. You can see the bunker on the right and bunker on the left certainly come into play. So the ideal line is really to fly it just over the left-hand side of that right trap and get the fast lane. It'll scuttle on down the fairway, which is what Carolyn Headwall has done. And then it could be anything from an 8-iron to a wedge for these players into a green where the pin today is located all the way at the back, 28 metres on. So got to believe in your yardage. Only yielded 9 birdies so far, so playing over its par. And here's Pedersen back on the tee.
Carolyn Headwall's put one down the centre, and Suzanne Pedersen has done exactly the same. 2 perfect drives.
After a brilliant shot in, Lydia Ko with just a tap in for a birdie. Excellent work, Lydia Ko. 10 under par. And many people's popular choice for this title. What a brilliant career developing for the newly turned professional. Chella Choi, the 17th. How's she going? She's gone birdie, birdie, birdie. Thank you very much. Last 3 holes.
Could have just chased on that little bit more, and there'll be a fair bit of movement in that putt from left to right on this left to right sloping green. Almost good illustration from our cameramen of what the players are facing. Now that red spot indicates that the players have 90 metres to the front of the green, and then it's 28 metres on. So that's 118 metres. Sandy's with the group.
I will give you her first visit to Australia. I think she's rather enjoying herself.
So Ko's gone over the back at the par 3 7th. There's a second shot.
Well, we saw her hit a beautiful one of these on number 10 yesterday. That's pretty well executed.
So that back for par for the superstar teenager from the Shaky Isles. We have seen plenty of action already on this 3rd day of the Women's Australian Open at Victoria. A record-breaking 62 from Chella Choi to vault herself into the outright lead at 13 under. She's in the clubhouse. The chasing pack, well, the majority of them that are close are out there. Headwall, Ko, Pedersen, Lee, all on course. Jenny Shin had a good day today with a 6 under to move to 9 under for the tournament. And Perrine Delacour, also some sublime golf, as we have a great array of talent on the leaderboard on this 3rd day. Back to Ko for her par on 7.
Not much in this. Straight uphill. Nice and firm. Oh, nicely done, Lydia. It's impressive.
Well, that's hole 7. Let's ask Stacey Lewis how she recommends you play this hole at Victoria.
The 7th is a tricky little par 3. You're hitting about a mid-iron, plays usually 6 or 7 iron, and then from there your goal is just to land on the front left part of the green, and then from there everything feeds to the back right. So your goal really is just to try to keep it on the green. The wind is, the last few days has been right to left, so you can hold it on the green, but it's definitely one of the hardest ones out here.
Thanks, Stacey.
That's pretty good. Yeah, she might be taking our job. Nah, I think she's pretty good at hers. Number 3 in the world.
She earns more money doing what she does.
Now, Nordquist. Hole today in the back, 20 on and 6 off the right. Oh, just sneaks over the bunker. That's pretty good if it stops. Settle. No, that's always the challenge here. It's a bit of a plateau on the right-hand side, and she didn't take Stacey's ideas of bringing it in from left to right.
Webb's got 3 to play. All pars on her homeward 9 after going out in 32.
Oh, way too much club there, Kari.
So it's just unravelling a little for the Australian as she tries to close out a good third day. Now Lee on 3 on the par 3-7.
Playing 143 metres. Oh, sorry, no. 150 metres today. That has a better chance of stopping. Well done. No problem. Oh, she's happy, happy girl.
It's great the demeanour that she has when she carries herself around the golf course. And now Pedersen from the trap has got this long birdie putt. So from the fringe for a real burgled birdie here if she could steal it.
I think she'd be pretty darn happy to get it down in 2. Comes up a little shy, uphill all the way there. It's quite a steep green from back to front.
Just heard from Stacey Lewis. Here's another Lewis in the States, Amelia, for a birdie to go to 9 under. And she's keeping herself thereabouts. That's a terrific outward 9. 3 under. 33 to move to 9 under. She's 4 from the lead as we go back to Hedvall.
This is going to be a tough one to judge. She's coming up quite a steep rise, and when it gets there, it's going to go over the top and downhill, so trying to stop it is going to be no mean feat.
That's scooting. Look at it go.
Well, it just illustrates what a bad mistake it was to end up where she was.
Now this tricky shot for Webb, going long. Well, that's scooting away as well.
I'm just really shocked that Kari went that long. That is unlike her and Mike Patterson, her caddy, to get something so wrong.
Just on the edge of the bunker there too. A long putt back for Hedvall for 4. Oh, that was brave, but just caught the edge of the cup, so the speed will drop a shot.
A bit of an unforced error after such a gorgeous drive. She'd be disappointed.
Nordqvist long. Well, we saw a run of birdies at one point, Jane. Now we're seeing just a little patch of players going long here and paying the price at Victoria.
And if you get yourself out of position, it'll be very, very difficult to save par.
So that 4 par.
And I think that's great on a golf course. I mean, if you play the course well, you can make your birdies. But if you get out of position, it'll come up and bite you.
Pedersen to stay at 11 under. Takes care of business there.
Yeah, terrific save.
Finding the bunker off the tee. That's a good 4. World number 2. And now Minjee Lee. Birdie attempt here. Just finished up last year at Corpus Christi College in Perth. I'm sure she's still got lots of schoolmates tuning in. Just such an exciting fortnight that she's putting together here at the 2 biggest tournaments in her home country.
Absolutely, and played pretty darn well in the New South Wales Open a few weeks ago as well. Finished in a tie for 5th. So she is on a terrific run of form. Just plays with a natural flair, gets on with it.
And almost to within 2 of the lead there. Caught a bit of the cup, but she takes a par and remains at 10 under for the tournament.
Kari very lucky not to run over the green with that second shot into the bunker, but I tell you what, this is no bargain here. Have to perch herself precariously, Peter Wilkins.
Absolutely. Well-balanced golfer, Kari Webb.
It's a surprising miss club off the tee. She's going to do well to get down in 2 from here. Now for par, Swede. Okay, good job there, Anna. She will stay at -9, and 4 shots off the pace.
Back on the tee, very picturesque view of Caroline Headwell and Suzanne Pedersen. The distinctive qualities of the course here, appreciated by players and a lot of the caddies too. The elevated greens, challenging conditions with the bunkering and also the wind. And while you can get to all the par 5s, the par 3s perhaps hold the key to the victor here tomorrow afternoon. You can see the mind of Pedersen, just wondering how much to plant on this.
Well, she knows there's some wind up there, and just not feeling it so much back on the tee. Uphill all the way. They've got to bring it in straight over this bunker, but there is a little bit of room. The pin's well back. If you play this to the centre of the green, though, it does feed around left to right. Good contact from Suzanne. Coming to the left-hand side. Now, it will move across a fairway once it starts running on the green, but a little wider than what she wanted.
Maybe could do with an extra club to get it back. It would have sloped off even more. So it was going to be a difficult assignment for Pedersen on this par 3 7th. Lovely hole. All of the greens here on the par 3s are slightly elevated, the 14th particularly so. And framed beautifully by the bunkers. Now, Caroline Headwall. Look at this quick swing. Generates a great deal of club head speed.
Caroline Headwall just backing off a little bit there, a little indecisive. Will she have learnt from Suzanne Pedersen? Just coming up a little shy there, Suzanne. The safe side is left centre. She started that much further out to the right, drawing it back into the flag. It's certainly cleared the bunker without a problem. But with a little bit of draw, it's just moving away to the left. Not bad, though.
Oh, well, very good shot from Headwall. Natural shot tends to be a fade. Intriguingly, she has a twin sister, Jacqueline, who hits a draw.
Now, Mi Hyung Lee, the 20-year-old who stole the New Zealand Open. This is for a birdie. Drills it straight in. Course record 63 to win the New Zealand Open, and stole it from Lydia Ko. Going well too at 10 under par. And there is the leadership. Chella Choi on 3 fronts. A brilliant round today. The low score in an Australian Open in its history. The low score on the course, and her best ever round. A 10 under. 62, just brilliant. 13 under. Lydia Ko at 11 under. Caroline Headwall 11 under. Suzanne Pedersen at 11 under. They're all there. Now, on the eve of the tournament, just on Wednesday, there was a surprise meeting for several of the elite players in Australian golf. This was an Olympic reconnaissance meeting chaired by the chef de mission of the AOC, Kitty Chiller, and there were plenty of questions and a lot of answers too about the Brazilian experience when golf makes its return. So the players were all there wide-eyed. Plenty of questions about how many athletes, qualification, the drug situation, and they were all answered, and the players enjoyed the experience.
Oh, well, absolutely. Definitely for me, you know, I grew up doing a lot of swimming and stuff, so Olympics for me, especially from like a young age, has always been in the back of my mind. So when I took up golf, it was, you know, one of those things where it was a bit disappointing because golf was never in the Olympics. So now it is. It's very exciting for me.
And do you feel the way you're currently playing that you're a chance, or is qualification a little bit confusing? How are you going to get there?
Well, today in the meeting, you know, they explained to us how to qualify and all that type of stuff, which has been a little up in the air lately. But you know, I've just got to keep playing good golf and see what happens come 2016.
So, Catherine, can you explain? How do you qualify?
Play really well. Get in the top 15 in the world.
And do you know how many players from Australia can be there? Is it going to be 2, 4?
Hopefully we can get 4 in there, but yeah, we've got a bit of work to do if that's the case. But yeah, it's going to be capped at 4 for any country, so we'll have 2 at least. Yeah, in a way we're competitors, but then we also have the opportunity to be teammates too, come 2016. So it's kind of a unique situation. But
that's unusual for us as golfers, you know, playing as a team, so it should be exciting.
Catherine Kirk and Rebecca Artis, 2 of the fine talents in Australian golf. The top, well, if you have 4 in the top 15, you can qualify. If not, you can have 1 plus 1 other. So at the moment, say the Koreans would have 4 going to Brazil. But a lot of questions still remain, but a lot of answers were given to by Kitty Chiller at that Olympic meeting. Now a long-range birdie putt. Suzanne Pedersen. A birdie there would have been a bonus. As we go to Lydia Ko for a birdie on the par 5, 8th, just to get within 1 of the lead.
Just needed a little bit more pace for Ko. It's a very tidy front 9 she's compiling, currently 3 under. We'll go back to the 7th hole, and an extremely good tee shot from Carolyn Headwall. Pretty slick putt though, I imagine.
Yes, it will be, Kate, and it's a very good job to get it back to this pin in the first place, but she set herself up in a pretty good position to just be pin high there, makeable putt, but it will be very, very quick, and always in the back of your mind, it's, do I make it a little bit firm, keep the line, or am I too scared about that return putt, which is usually a bit of a horror on this hole, but good chance, and she'll be kicking herself after that last hole. Such an enormous drive, and to walk away with bogey, she'd love to claw that one back.
Oh. No, well, left it short. As I'm sometimes told, you dropped your lipstick. But this will be a tap-in for Carolyn Headwall. Par 3 keeps her at even par for today, but losing ground on the other leaders. She's the only player who is even par. You have to go all the way down to Jessica Corder, who's currently in a tie for 14th. Everybody is picking up hot shots on the golf course.
Now the ball positioning for Anna Nordqvist and Minjee Lee. About the same distance. Lee just out to the right a little bit, but Nordqvist will be the first to play. Second shot to the 8th, and a few players have gobbled this hole up today. Just a little misjudgment into the front trap. Just can't believe it. Looks quizzically to caddy, who incidentally was the man who was fired by Jessica Corder mid-round at the US Open. She's back in the frame now. Minjee Lee, this also running towards sand. So I guess indifferent shots, even though they're not that far away.
So enticing, the par 5s to go for. Par 5s finished both 9s on the 8th and the 9th, and the 17th and the 18th. Par putt required for Pedersen to stay at 11 under. No. Wasn't her best putting stroke, always going left. so a 3-putt. It was from long range, but that takes her back to even par for the day, and 3 behind the new leader, Chella Choi.
So a strange complexion coming over the 3rd round of the Australian Women's Open of the Victoria Club. Chella Choi winless on the LPGA Tour, although she had a terrific year last year. She has compiled her best ever round. 13 under, a 10 under 62. Lydia Ko at a 10 under 63 first round at Royal Canberra last year. She's matched it, but lowered it in terms of the number of 62. What a round. Lydia Ko poised, though, with a chance, you'd think, with a good shot out of the bunker at 8. Carolyn Headwell, 11 under par. A trio at 10 under par. And then players all with a chance of winning. Anna Nordqvist from Sweden. Perrine Delacour from France. Marianne Skarpnord from Norway. Paula Creamer, another major winner. They're littered over the leaderboard. And Kari Webb too. She had it going early, but just hasn't been able to get it together on the back 9 to keep that movement up the leaderboard.
Eighth hole. A lot of players will be able to get home in 2. Here's Anna Nordqvist, who's one of the longest players. She has an all-round good game, Anna Nordqvist. She's always towards the top of the stats, always in the top 10, certainly in fairways hit, greens and regulation. Expect her to win a little bit more, and just lets herself down a little bit with her short game. But she has refined over the off-season.
Yeah, she's made a few changes there, as I mentioned before. Changed clubs. That can often be...
Few players have changed clubs, haven't they?
A problem?
Yeah. Well, no, she's dealing with it well, but look at the lip on this bunker. Gonna have to pop this one up in the air and chase down towards the hole.
Didn't help Rory McIlroy for a while.
Our scales were much better. Maybe.
A little shy.
Well, very hard to tell, and there's a bit of guesswork sometimes with the bunkers here. There can be a lot of sand, and a few paces on, there can be no sand at all. A little bit inconsistent. Real, part of the golf course here. Characteristic. Yang Li, the 14th. Good par 3, the 14th. Very well protected by bunkers. Beautiful shot. Oh, come on. Oh, wouldn't that have been a superb birdie? Oh, look, she's asking for a bit of help out of the bunker.
That is an exquisite shot. Now can Minjee Lee follow the 20-year-old? Oh, that's pretty handy too. She, in her defence, wasn't going exactly at the pin, but has left herself a very good chance for birdie at the 8th hole. And in Nordqvist, a significant distance away from the hole too, and if she doesn't manage to secure that long ranger, you'd think she's perhaps given one back to the field as well as players playing the first hole who can't or haven't been able to get a birdie throughout the week. Players back on the tee, waiting up ahead. Haven't seen that too much in the last couple of days, but the first 2 days, the rounds, you wouldn't call them express. Players trying to make the cuts and a lot of vital putts at the back end. 77 players playing this afternoon. Now, not in the bunker. 3rd shot to the 10th hole. The lie doesn't look great. What's she got up the sleeve? Anna Nordqvist.
Oh, gracious.
Oh, no.
Just a nightmare for Anna.
Dear, oh dear. Every Saturday club golfer who's put the clubs down and you've settled back into the lounge this afternoon, you might be able to relate to that too, but that's just not what you want to produce when you're in contention in a big tournament.
No, she's got to try and nip this, but she didn't take enough loft and drilled it right into the face of the bunker, and it's ricocheted again, and then it's up against the lip. Really no chance of reaching it. It's about 120, maybe 130 metres to the front. And then another 11 onto an extremely difficult green to approach. It's almost like an upturned saucer is the 10th green. So she'll have to hit a very, very solid shot to get it to the green here. So 4th shot, and she's hit that one heavy.
Well, Handa Nordqvist has hit
coming
a
unraveled.
major hurdle. And herein lies the perils of the links golf course, the beautiful bunkering, treachery. If you're not on the fairway, you find those lies, anything can happen, and it has happened too.
At least she had the correct distance. That is not a horrible place to putt from. She could chip it, she could putt it. And still waiting back on the 10th.
The weight
is our
goes
lead
on.
group.
Chella Choi, what a round today. Eagle the last, a 10 under 62. An Australian Open record, a course record, a personal record. Carolyn Headwell, Suzanne Pedersen, on down to Lydia Ko. And Mi Hyung Lee, 9 under par, as we are back on the 10th tee. I'll hand over to Quentin Hull after you hear from Jane Crafter. A fascinating day lies ahead, and tomorrow as well.
Well, indeed, and as this lead group, the final group of the day, starts the back 9 on moving day Saturday. I think probably not a front 9 really that they would be super delighted with, given the fact that there are a number of extremely low scores. Headwell 2 under for the day, Pedersen also 2 under for the day. And the perils and trials and tribulations, Quentin of Handa Nordqvist is holding up this last group.
Yeah, she's getting the scenic tour of 10, unfortunately, but it's a horror show for her.
And it's funny how things can just sort of unravel really quickly. Now this is her 5th shot, just a sand wedge to a hole location that's perilously close to that left side. Really should just try and tuck it in just a metre or 2 to the right would be a good shot. Uphill all the way.
The mind's probably the biggest battle right now
for absolutely.
her.
Everything seems to speed up.
That's pretty safe and pretty well played after the mare in the bunker. Amelia Lewis, the colourful American, just keeping herself there or thereabouts. This would rattle the cage a little to get to -10.
Resident of Jacksonville, Florida, in the northern part of the state. Oh. Yes, you beauty. Well done, Amelia.
Terrific putt from the American. So she's just 3 shots from the lead. Had a bit of a smile. Why not after draining such a great putt?
I think I used to have some skirts like that back in the 70s, Quentin. But in sort of the hippie days.
Did you leave them back in the 70s?
I think I did.
Oof.
I see someone in the gallery pointing to the ball, but goodness, that could be in some very bad, in a very bad lie.
So Headwell in strife off the tee at 10. This our last group of the day, playing 2 ball across the weekend, having been in groups of 3 for Thursday and Friday.
Ideally start at Sandy at that right bunker and turn it a little right to left.
Yeah, definitely, Jane, the right side, because this fairway just slopes all the way right to left. You'll get a decent run off that side. Just make sure you don't stay up in those bunkers. That I've just watched the horror show that was Handa Nordqvist moments ago. Suzanne Pedersen bombing that one down the centre of the fairway, and I'll just run over and see what sort of lie Carolyn Headwell has, because it's not looking flash.
You can see you there striding out in your lovely blue, Sandy. So we can take you to the 10th fairway with Headwell looking a bit wayward off 10. Our last group starting the back 9 on this 3rd round. Chella Choi sits back and enjoys the view from the clubhouse. She's probably not even on site anymore. She's got a big day to think of tomorrow after an extraordinary 62. 13 under, she shares the lead with Hedvolt, who's gone wayward off the tee at 10. Pedersen, Lee, Lewis, Coe, Shin and Skarpnord also among the contenders. Let's head to Stephanie Brandts in the studio. She's found a special guest.
I found the Queen of Australian golf, who's been good enough to pop by, shot a round of 68 to finish at 8 under the card. A wonderful round, Kari Webb. Thank you for joining us. And a sense of satisfaction, particularly after that birdie at the last?
Yeah, it was nice to get the birdie on the last. You know, I had it really going on the front nine. I was 4 under through 8 and had a 5 or 6 footer on 9 and missed that. And I've just not played the back 9 as well as I've played the front this week, and it was nice to get the birdie on the last, but I felt like I could have maybe got 1 or 2 if I'd have given myself a few more chances on the back 9.
Well, this course is touted really to be so challenging. How have you found, what's your assessment of it?
Well, I think we've been pretty fortunate this week with the weather. I don't think I've ever played 5 days, you know, counting practice round and Pro-Am in Melbourne, where we haven't had a couple of really breezy days, and today's the most wind we've had to deal with, and it really isn't much for Melbourne standards. The course is fantastic. I think if we had any sort of wind, it would play really quite difficult. The greens are really firming up and, you know, making it more challenging to get close to the pin.
Well, you're right in the mix there, so what are you expecting tomorrow?
Well, hopefully I won't be too far behind. I'm 5 behind now, so, you know, that would take a really good round tomorrow to have a chance. So we'll see. I'm just really happy with the progress I've made this week. You know, I've improved my rounds every day. So hopefully another low one tomorrow, and we'll see where that puts me.
Well, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from your round, and you can give us a commentary assessment if you like.
Yeah, it was a nice start actually. Good swing off the first tee, and I called for it to kick a little right, and it listened to me for a change and kicked up on the green. And it was an easy 2-putt birdie to start the day.
Yeah, we've got your eagle putt coming up next, and you've had a couple of really good chances, haven't you?
Yeah, I actually had three eagle putts today. So this one probably, I think the putting green's slightly faster than the greens out there, so it wasn't the most aggressive first putt, but easy birdie.
What do you find the most important on this course, Kara? Is it striking the ball well, the short game, or, as is ever the case, a combination of the two?
I think it really is a combination. You definitely need to drive it well off the tee, otherwise you put yourself in lots of trouble. This is my eagle putt on number 8. I hit 2 great shots in there and a really confident putt for 3, so 2 eagles in a row on number 8 for me the last 2 days.
And here, Kara, fantastic save on 11.
Yeah, I put a pretty lousy swing in there and short side of myself, and pretty good bunker shot and really good putt to save for par.
And here we go, finishing on the 18th. You actually had a very long eagle chance
first.
I
did, and the putt was really slow back up that hill, but this is a really positive stroke and a good way to finish the day.
Absolutely, and we absolutely love watching you play out here, Kara. It was a bit of a tumultuous weekend, perhaps last weekend. How did you refocus, and did you have any more, perhaps a heightened sense of anxiety coming to Melbourne?
Well, I felt a little more underdone than I would have if I'd have played 4 rounds last weekend, and I didn't play my first 2 rounds very well last week, so I did feel a little less confident than I would have liked to have been, but the confidence has built over the last couple of days. But I'm pretty wary in the score tent. I never know if I really want to walk out until they officially say I've shot 68.
Double, triple count and check what par is. How do you relax your mind away from the game?
Well, in Australia it seems to be a little more challenging. I have a few more commitments than normal, but I've had my family around the last couple of weeks, and that's always a good way to relax in the evenings, is, you know, just hanging out with them.
And a big year ahead, Kari. What's your main focus?
Well, I'd like to build on what I did last year. You know, I had a pretty solid year last year and won 3 times around the world. So, you know, I'd really like to play a lot like that again. You know, probably more throughout the whole year. I think my second half of the year last year wasn't as good as I would have liked to have finished the year. But, you know, I'd like to focus on the majors also, because I don't think I really gave myself any good shots at winning any of those. So, you know, I'd like to, without putting too much pressure on those events, I'd like to be in the hunt a bit more at those.
Well, we can't wait to see you play more golf. We've got one more job for you before you go.
Okay.
We'd like a bit of analysis for you on one of the juniors, one of the younger players coming through, should I say, leading amateur Minjee Lee. Let's have a look at her third shot on 10. She's playing very, very well. Talk us through her game here.
Well, Minjee is actually one of my Curry Webb Series scholarship winners, and she was over with me last year at the US Open. So I've gotten to know Minjee fairly well, I guess. You know, she thinks 39's old, as she told me, because Leonardo DiCaprio was old, she told me last year. But super talented girl, and, you know, the future's hers.
And Lydia Ko here for birdie at 11. Is that going to be a bad miss there?
Well, I don't know if it was for birdie or not, but Lydia
Yes,
normally makes those, so she'll be disappointed with that. But you know, we already know how good she is.
And Nordqvist here, has she had trouble in the bunker? Double bogey putt.
Yeah, this will kill
costly?
kill some momentum for her today. I'm sure she's hoping this one rolls in.
Now that must be incredibly frustrating for someone who had such an amazing round yesterday.
Yeah, I think when you have a really good round, it's hard to back it up. You know, even if you shoot, you know, 2 or 3 under the next day, it seems like the round was a lot harder than the day before.
Well, Cara, you've been absolutely fantastic to stay and work with. You have to send us an invoice for that. Thank you very much. Always good to speak to you, and we wish you all the very best for tomorrow.
Cheers, thanks for having me in.
And let's head back out and join our commentary team.
Stephanie Curry, thank you. Always great to hear from the First Lady of Australian Golf. Back to our last group of the day, Caroline Hedwall and Suzanne Pedersen. And we saw her go wayward off the tee.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of lie she has drawn over here. It looks pretty thick.
It's actually really horrible, and she has advanced that quite a good distance. That is well done, because that was so thick.
She gave that an amazing lash, and she's going to set herself up for a good chance to get up and down for par.
This is Mi Hyung Lee, New Zealand Open winner.
And she stole it away from New Zealand's Lydia Ko there with a 65 on the final day. Oh, sorry, it was 63, I believe. Which is just a sensational score. Now Pedersen.
It's 147 for Suzanne Pedersen. You can't go left, and she's certainly not going to do that, playing a little further right than she'd want to be.
Yeah, not a bad shot, but certainly she might like to have that one over again. Great of Kari to come in. I just have to say thanks to her. It's always good to hear her thoughts. Now, tough little up and down. You can see how elevated this green is.
Oh, and gets it to stop too quickly. That's the devil of this layout, isn't it? Sometimes you think, oh, there's no use trying to spin it. It's not going to grip anyway, but then you get a ball to really suck like that.
Such a difficult shot when the green is so far above you. You really can't run it. You've got to nip it. She needed to carry it another 2 or 3 metres.
Chella Choi safely in the clubhouse at 13 under, and you see Hedwall on screen there, 13, and Pedersen as well. So the 2 players closest to our joint leader, or one sharing the lead, and one shot back.
Uphill all the way here for Suzanne, and once it gets to the flag, if she's a little too firm with it, it does run away again. And just 4 metres from the left-hand side.
With 3 consecutive birdies.
It will look good for a very long time.
So after her bogey on 7, she's gone birdie, and we assume par. Yep, as she closes out her 4 on 10 to stay at 12 under. So certainly not a rampaging day from the world number 2. But she's not doing any damage really as yet. Minjee Lee, she might have done some damage here off the tee at 11. Oh, good contact. You can see the flight of the ball there. Oh, perhaps too good a contact.
Well, the nice thing about most of the greens here at Victoria is that if you do get into trouble, you can run it up the front if you've got the accuracy, but that one was just a little too far to the right.
After her trouble off the tee and a hack out of the thick rough, this to stay at 13 under for Caroline Hedwall.
Could be a very good par. This coming up the hill again. Once it gets towards the hole, it should start feeding a little bit from right to left.
Easy when you have to have so much pace on it. It's easy to lose your rhythm and just pull it a tad, and that's exactly what happened there. Just came off the putter left.
Well, it costs her her share of the lead. We assume only by one for the time being. No mistake, but a bogey at 10. And Chella Choi is back in the outright lead at 13 under. Lydia Ko's getting a little wayward at the start of her back nine, Jane.
Yes, look at this right in the waist area. Typical sandy sandbelt rough. I think that
get the tree.
Ricocheted, yes, I believe it did. Well, you just can't afford to miss the fairway, and that's what happens when you get a little wayward. It seems easy when you're hitting fairway after fairway.
The consistent Paula Creamer.
It's been a while since Paula has won. Her last win was a major, the US Women's Open at Oakmont. Talk about some fast greens there.
Yeah, she's a 14-time top 10 finisher in majors. Yeah. She's always there and thereabouts.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even though this event is not a major, it's still a national open. And players dearly want to perform well.
Well, Katrina Matthew, unfortunately, didn't make the weekend, but the experienced Scott tells us how you should play 11 here at Victoria.
Yeah, the 11th hole is about a 360-metre par 4, slightly back up the hill, slight dogleg right. Quite a big bunker there on the left, I think about 230 yards out. So I tend to probably just hit a 3-wood off it, just try and keep myself just a little short of that bunker, and then I leave myself a 7-iron, 6-iron into the green. Green really tilts from back to front, so really just try and keep it below the hole and give yourself a nice uphill putt.
Well, and that's pretty good advice for all of these holes. Keep it below the hole. Suzanne Pedersen, though, going to take this on and take those bunkers down the left on, Sandy.
Yeah, it is tricky, Jane, because those bunkers down the left-hand side are well within range, and you don't want to go too far right, though, because those trees have a tendency to grab you. Now, Suzanne is taking very tight right. Now, whether she'll pick up the fairway or not, probably still be in the rough over there, but it's only wispy rough. It'll be okay.
Yeah, running along, and ooh, it just hit something there. But looks like it's okay. Certainly not disastrous.
A little bit more of a cooling breeze here at the moment, and Caroline Hedwall also taking those trees on. That is straight into the centre of the fairway, and it's another really good, strong drive.
Oh, she has ripped that one, Sandy. Hedwall, a star of the Solheim Cup last year, won every match she played in, 5-0.
It's a pretty good trip to Colorado for the Europeans, wasn't it?
Tremendous.
First ever time they were able to win in the States, even though they were defending champions, as Minjee Lee finds a nice touch out of the centre. Perhaps would have liked to push that a bit further. A tough par putt coming up there for Lee to remain at 11 under. The vista from high above the Victoria Golf Club. Well, regularly there'd be members out playing on a Saturday afternoon here, but not today. The big names from around the world are here, and Chella Choi leads them at 13 under. One ahead of our last group that's on the course, Hedwall and Pedersen at 12 under. Minjee Lee with a tough par putt to stay at 11. Amelia Lewis, Lydia Ko at 10 under, and Jenny Shin And Marianne Skarpnord at 9 under. The Brit Holly Clyburn is still in contention. She's 9 under for the tournament.
Her approach shot into this dogleg right, 375-yard par 4. Just one bunker on the left-hand side on this green.
This is her first trip to Australia. On the Dutch Open last year in her first full year on the LET. So now this par putt for Minjee Lee.
And that bunker shot, Quentin, just caught it a little bit heavy. And these greens are rolling beautifully. Put a lot of water on this golf course. They've practically emptied the dam that lines the 17th hole.
They've done a terrific job to get the fairways up as well. I was speaking to one of the members who said, oh, we had some bit of disease late in the year, but got it up beautifully for this big tournament.
All right, Minjee, back of the hole. Yes, no problem.
Listen and obey. Well called, Jane. She gave it a rip and it never left the heart of the cup. Sandy, come in.
Yes, well, we've got the balls here of Suzanne Pedersen and Caroline Headwall. Just over there on the right is Suzanne's ball. 130 from the flag. Wispy lie, but not too bad. But the tough thing is the pin is in the right-hand side. Good drive by Caroline Headwall up there. Just 117 to the pin, right from the centre of the fairway.
And what's the body language between the two been like, Sandy?
In patches, not bad. They're just going about their business today. I think they're both fairly into what's going on out here, but oh, there's been a bit of idle chit-chat here and there.
You just wonder, obviously, from the same part of the world, obviously know each other really well. It's Saturday, it's not Sunday, so it's not as pressurised, but still, yeah, some players like to have good camaraderie, some just like to go about their business. I always find that really intriguing, particularly in the game of golf, when your own peace of mind is such an integral element of your performance.
Oh, they're both fierce competitors.
So we look down to see Suzanne Pedersen. She's got a, well, there's a good shot of her lie. That little tuft of grass just was almost like the backboard on the drive. Luckily, doesn't seem to be lying too badly.
The most noticeable thing here at the moment is the breeze is actually starting to pick up, and that was something that we were expecting this afternoon.
Yeah, forecasting 20 to 30 kilometres an hour. It doesn't certainly seem quite that strong, Sandy, but...
No, it's nowhere near it, Jane, but I've got to tell you, it's very helpful in the humidity department. It's making things very pleasant out here.
This hole plays slightly back uphill towards the green, so hole today in the back section.
Interesting to see where she puts this after the late change of club.
Just starting to leak a little bit to the right-hand side now, but it'll be okay, but not what she's looking for.
Well, she didn't play the LPGA opener in the Bahamas, and she explains why. Here.
It's tough. I mean, you got to be strategic off the tees, not just bashing drivers everywhere. You got to be smart. It's a little bit more narrow than what we played a couple of years ago at Royal Melbourne. So runoffs around the greens. It's a typical tough links course with tough airs around the greens.
Well, she was talking about the course here right there, so apologies for that. Let's get back to head vault.
.117 for Caroline Headwall. That's just hanging on the left side of the flag. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, delightful shot. That's what you need to do, approaching from the middle of the fairway. right to lefter here for Holly. Oh, yes, pours it in. So she goes to 11 under par. Jumping up the leaderboard. All sorts of jockeying for position right now. Saturday afternoon. Here's Lewis from the US. Amelia Lewis, not Stacey Lewis.
Lewis, Lee. We're just going to keep our brain tuned in to these players in contention. Coe. Slipping away a little for Lydia here.
Desperately love this one to go in for a par.
And she'll drop another shot. So Lydia Coe has made a poor start to the back nine. She went through the front nine in the 3 under 33, but now bogey, par, bogey, start to the back nine to drop to 9 under. She just seems a little unsure at the moment, Pedersen. We saw her with a late change of club with her approach here. And
well, I tell you what, she'll be very unsure about the line of this putt from long range on this right-hand side. There's a bunker over there, and it all slopes away from that, so she's going to run along that slopey side a little bit, which is going to sling it a little bit right to left. Severe uphill here, but once it comes off that slope, it might become a little bit of a runner back down to the flag. It's a toughie to judge.
Oh, she's done it well.
just start to see it in her face that the challenge of this course is starting to just enter the mind of Suzanne Pedersen. She's at 12 under. Well, we've spoken about how golf will be... I'll get to that in a moment. First, head vault.
Well, this is very, very makeable for Caroline Headwell. Superb shot in here. She played to get all the way back to this flag.
Looks to me like a pretty nice angle to putt from, Sandy.
Yeah, if you're going to pick one, Jane, that would be about the spot to do it from. Shouldn't be a lot in this putt. Slightly uphill, she's taken the big part of the long climb up this green out of the equation.
So this for birdie. She didn't like that right away.
Well, just a little bit of a negative vibe getting about this last group at the moment. It's no major damage, but Choi sitting pretty at 13 under. And a couple of our leading players are starting to find this back nine coming up and biting them.
The screen slopes from right to left. Ideally bring it in from that right side. And Minji, big smile. She knows she hit that one just beautifully. I love the way she plays golf. I love her attitude.
Choi on top. And, well, at this stage, it looks like she might be in that last group tomorrow because no one really over to accelerate past her. We've seen her join in the lead a couple of times, but she still sits alone there now at 13 under. Headwell and Pedersen can change that, and Minji Lee, the young Australian, the best of the local contingent here. Well, we've spoken about how golf will be added to the Olympic fixture in Rio in 2016, but there's also a push to have the sport included in the Paralympics. Earlier today, Stacey Keating and some of her fellow professionals took a clinic for disability golfers to help promote the movement. Natalie Ioannidis asked Stacey about the value of these clinics.
Oh, I mean, it's a great opportunity just to, obviously they're a lot, you know, they're not as fortunate as us, so I think it's great that they're even out here playing and, coming out to see the golf. So, I'm very happy to be involved.
How inspiring is it to watch people with disabilities playing the sport that you love and grown up with?
Exactly. I mean, it's great, isn't it? I complain about a 3-putt, and I look at them, so, and it's a good eye-opener for me.
How important is it for the possibility of it being included in the Paralympics for golf as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think, what they're doing here is great, and obviously ISPS is hugely involved, and hopefully it can one day get there.
Well, it's great, the professionals take their time to actually, because we do enjoy our golf. We may not be as good as a lot of other people, but we still enjoy the golf.
Oh, lovely. Good shot.
Could you ever imagine playing golf with a disability like that?
Well, no, I have to be honest, no, right now. But then you see these guys and, it is possible.
Stacey Keating with some, prospective Paralympians. Our last group is about to get down 12, so who better than Kari Webb to tell us how to negotiate it?
The 12th hole, I think, is an in-between hole for me off the tee. I definitely can't hit driver because I'm going to run out, but my 3-wood's pitching into the upslope there in the fairway, so it leaves me quite a long way back, maybe a 5 or 6 iron, and you really can't see most of the green unless you hit it all the way left, which off the tee you don't think you should hit it over there, but that's probably a better spot because you get a better view of the green. Green slopes from front to back, so just carrying it over the front and letting it release back to the pin.
Sage words. Pedersen now. See if she can get it right.
Well, the ideal line is to just find it safely in the centre of this fairway. Breezes up a little bit, coming straight into them. Yeah, nice looking shot from Suzanne Pedersen. That's perfect.
Yeah, also chose a fairway wood, and that is ideal. These players have the length. They don't mind being a little bit further back, perhaps.
Mi-Hyung Lee, who's had a good trip to this part of the world, winning in New Zealand, and this to finish out.
We saw Chella Choi make one from there.
Yes.
Almost.
She looks a little perturbed, but this to tidy it off. And she does, and she's in the fight. Mi-Hyung Lee, 72, 67, 68, and currently just 4 from the lead.
Oh, Caroline Headwell's got this moving to the right. Now, it may even go right of the bunker. It's going to be a fine line.
We can't see it. Good luck, Sandy. It's in that thick stuff out there somewhere. But, wayward from Caroline Headwell. So, well, don't really see the breeze getting up, Jane, but the players are starting to struggle, as we'd expect in the afternoon on this Saturday. These Sandbelt courses have got a great history of grabbing you in the afternoon and giving you a good shake, and that's what's happening at the moment to our last group of Headwell and Pedersen, with Choi in the safety of the clubhouse after her tremendous 62 earlier today. Lee, Lewis, Clyburn, Shin and Scarp Nord still nipping at the heels, though, of the Korean, looking to get closer before this Saturday closes. .62, you heard? Yes, that's right. 62 from Chella Choi, breaking all manner of records. And it really gained acceleration with this string of birdies to finish, Jane.
Oh, it was exceptional putting. Nice shot into the green. You wouldn't perhaps expect one to go in there, but lo and behold, that starts an incredible streak.
And that was after a bogey on 13, so birdie on 14, and this approach to 15.
Oh, judges that one extremely well. Sets up a 2 or 3 metre putt, really, for birdie.
So 8 under became 9 under. And then to the par 3, 16th.
Playing 143 metres today. Came up just a little short.
It's not even in the same postcode.
Not really. How do you do? Guess where this one goes? And
Birdie, birdie, birdie. Okay, 2 par 5s to finish. What can I do here? Here's 17.
And not the easiest of par 5s either, 547 metres. 3 solid shots to here, a little downhill slider. Yep, and then another one.
11 under par.
I don't remember ever seeing Chella Choi make this many putts. This is just sensational. And then off the front of the green here at 18 for eagle.
Just a hint of icing.
Right on the cake.
Boom. Eagle, 62, 10 under for the day. Chella Choi. Wow. Personal best, an Australian Open best, a Victoria Golf Club best. And now Minjee Lee. Well, she'd love to finish in similar vein.
Oh, who wouldn't? Keep breaking. Yes, nicely done, Minjee. Young 17-year-old from the West.
So a birdie at 12 to go to 12 under.
Now let's see if Lydia Ko can sort of right the ship a little bit. Not started off the back 9 terribly well. Should start breaking about here. Keep coming.
Ko just missing on the 13th green.
Well, let's have a look and see where these players have ended up on the 12th hole, as we saw Kari describe. Pedersen in ideal position.
Come on, Carolyn.
Well, what's she going to be thinking? Suzanne Pedersen's gone over the back. That is going to come up shy, and there is a steep tier at the front of the screen. It's going to trickle up that a little bit, and then it's going to roll back down.
And it's still moving, Sandy. Good call again. So, long putt in front. The vista in front of us, the Victoria Club, delivering plenty of birdies and plenty of nightmares. Chella Choi. She still has the smile on her face out here with Dad on the bag and her sister, who's a manager. A 10 under, 62. Minjee Lee at 13 under has joined her. Suzanne Pedersen hovering at the world number 2. And Lydia Ko, the world number 4, holding out for eagle at 17. What a round we're in for tomorrow at the Australian Open. Gee, I hope you can join us from the Victoria Golf Club and stay with us for the remainder of today.
Well, Minjee Lee has come off birdies at the 15th and 16th. Here we find her in the middle of the fairway on 17. It's a long par 5. Looking to lay up. She'll do that. All of these players will lay up to their favourite wedge distance. Bird's eye view of Suzanne Pedersen faces. It's interesting. Now, look at the way Suzanne Pedersen is going to play this shot. She's going to putt it, holding it very upright, standing quite close to the ball, using pretty much a putting stroke with an iron. Oh, it was the right idea. Stay there.
Gee, there's some dark looks emanating from the Northern Hemisphere players. Karine Ishe. A little bit of sand to work with. Flips it up nicely. Long way away. Well, can she go 1-2 in consecutive days? Carolyn Head will. She'll probably just take the 2 from here. Take. Not a bad effort to get it, well, to be safe. It's got a little uphill putt. Probably can't release the demons of 4 bogeys on the back 9 when she had it going so smoothly too. There weren't too many clues that I can remember, but she got it off track, got a few poor lies. Now Pedersen after going through the back is just off that cut portion. And none of these putts are easy too. You think you have the break in your mind and little nuances, particularly around this hole. So Suzanne Pedersen for a par. Pedersen for a par. No. And that's a short drop for Suzanne Pedersen, as an unlikely leaderboard has emerged at the top. Chella Choi, Minjee Lee, not so unlikely. Lydia Ko, Suzanne Pedersen still there at 11 under par. Jenny Shin, Marianne Skarpnord, Mi Hyung Lee, Amelia Lewis. Names that probably weren't in the forefront at the beginning of the day. They're there now.
And this isn't a straightforward putt. This is certainly going to demand her full attention for Carolyn Headwall. Certainly having a good look at it as well, asking the spectator at the back just to stop moving. You could just tell she's really showing signs of agitation. Things are getting to a little bit more on the back nine than they have done over the past couple of days. Those pesky flies will irritate her too.
No. It's a disaster. The back nine for Carolyn Headwall. Disbelievingly, she looks at that putt. Slid by. That's another bogey. It's 5 on the back nine. She's dropped back to 8 under par. 5 bogeys on the second 9-5 from the lead. That's golf. It's a testing game. Now we saw the shot out of the bunker for Karine Hichet from France. Long range to get to 10 under. It's a bit of a wide. And that's not entirely dead as well. Now Minjee Lee, gee, a couple of big holes coming up here for Minjee Lee.
Certainly is. Wonder if she can do and emulate the feats of Lydia Ko just a few moments ago.
If she likes it.
Oh, needs to get some spin back towards the hole. Just a solid result. Bold attempt from 17-year-old from Perth.
Now Lydia Ko confronting this 18th hole. 11 under. Eagle the last. Smooth as you like. Picks up the tee. And up to the crest, and that's in good shape. Back on the 17th. Suzanne Pedersen.
Oh, what's he doing?
Great driving hole, the 17th. There's the lagoon all the way down the right-hand side, out of bounds. Fairway gently meanders to the right. Cracking par 5.
A couple of big bunkers there too on the left-hand side, Kate, that you need to stay away from. Most important thing here, being as big a hole as it is just to keep these shots in play. Now left-hand side, and Suzanne's just going to run off the side of the fairway there. Not too much drama. The ball seems to be sitting okay.
Didn't take the driver as well out of the golf bag.
A little bit of a surprise, that move, because she's been driving so well and been such a big hole. I would have felt that maybe just that bunker's just too much reachable from here.
Well, I imagine there's going to be a fair bit of venom imparted from Carolyn Headwall on this drive.
This has been a frustrating back nine for Caroline.
Shot.
Oh, she's let that one
Come out. There you
lead
go.
down the right hand. Now she's missed the out of bounds, which is good. It's kicking back. It's not ended up as bad as she thought, but she was flirting with that out of bounds fence.
Headwell on the stride. And Kate, us Australians, are getting a bit excited at our National Open to have such a young star putting herself in the frame again. The 17-year-old for another birdie. But not this time. So, Minjee Lee takes care of business on 17 to remain at 13 under and in a share of the lead. And from one talented amateur to another. Yan of China. Almost rolling in that putt. Still just a teenager, rocketed to fame by winning a silver medal at the Asian Games in 2010, and she's not too far away. 6 from the lead, 71, 66, 72 for Jin Yan, or Jenny, as she's affectionately known. Welcome back, Jane. Karini Sher, she's there or thereabouts, and finishes out with par on 18, so that's her third round done. 69, 68, 70, 9 under, with the leader at -13. Gee, the intrigue of the last 90 minutes has been the perfect recipe for tomorrow, really.
It certainly has. It's been fascinating television as we look at where Lydia Ko is on the 18th, and it's a very tricky fairway to hit. It's played as the most difficult fairway to hit the first 2 days, and it's a blind shot down to the green. She can certainly reach this reachable par 5, 461 metres. The caddy, Scott Lubin, in the US, likes it, and I can see why. Perhaps taking the fairway wood off the tee really kind of cost her a chance of reaching it in 2. So not going to be the easiest of up and downs from that angle, though.
Yeah, the flag is quite tight in the front left corner today at 18, but let's check in with Holly Clyburn.
A little bit further up the fairway, perhaps she can reach. A couple of youngsters in this group, a 16-year-old and a 22-year-old.
Yeah, that looks like a good strike.
And she gave that one some heat. Oh, lovely effort there.
It feeds quite noticeably to the bottom right of screen as you see it there, so it's not an easy putt, but a chance of a 3 to finish for the young Englishwoman on her first trip to Australia. And boy, Sandy's going to have to, you know, really need a drink and some sustenance by the time she gets back in, because she's starting to chase Pedersen and Headwall all over the place.
She certainly is. Now, Pedersen, Sandy, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little tired.
They're spraying it all over the place, Sandy.
It has been seriously all over the shop. I've gone from one side back to the other and back again. But anyhow, look, it's, well, where else would you be on a day like this? But Suzanne Pedersen's driven it on the left-hand side. And there's no point in giving you yardages. It's just a long way home. So it's just a matter of getting this down the fairway.
Yeah, certainly is. As you're speaking, Sandy, we're just looking at the graphic of the green, how it slopes severely from left to right. And Pedersen's come up with a reasonably good lie. Just going to give it a good hit with the 3-wood.
Yeah, Suzanne's just got a little bit of rough, hard ground under her feet here that might make it too easy, but she'll just get it down the fairway here. Yeah, that's good solid contact. That's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely a 3-shot hole, this one, at 547 metres.
Can't see it there, but we'll take the word of the reliable Sandra Mackenzie. Oh, there we are. Yep, indeed, on the fairway. So that's a good result for Suzanne Pedersen. Yeah, that tricky position with her feet there. And now Headwall's on the march, so
looks like hers is in good shape as well.
Yeah, Caroline Headwall was actually 40 metres ahead of Suzanne Pedersen. Admittedly, Suzanne went with a lofted club off the tee, but huge kick off the bank when she thought she was going via the out-of-bounds fence, but she's played it really well down the centre of the fairway, so she won't have a very long shot in here at all.
Back to the final hole. Ko.
Correct, yep.
2 from the lead. The third to the par 5 finisher.
There's not much room. The hole's only on 10 steps from the front of the green.
He just took a bit of a nasty kick off that lip of the bunker. So
Not
that
bad.
for birdie to finish. Yes.
Not bad at all.
Back on the tee. And it's Lee.
Choosing the driver. Bit of a crowned fairway. You've got to be very precise. She liked it. Caddy
Sounded
liked
good,
it.
didn't it?
Yeah. Needs to settle though, just before that bunker. No.
There it goes.
Yeah, that's a disappointment, because that's going to stop any chance of her reaching it in 2.
To go to 10 under. Wouldn't this be a finisher for Holly Clyburn?
She's going to have to give it a good wrap. Keep coming. Players just can't believe how slow it is. The green has such a pitch from the front to the back.
Well, averaging 4.6 today and 4.75 across the tournament. So it shows you that you are giving up some space to the field if you don't make birdie here. And, 18 today has yielded 3 eagles, 27 birdies, 36 pars, 3 bogeys and 1 double bogey. It does make it a great finishing hole.
Oh, it's tremendous.
Doesn't it?
I always enjoy a par 5 finishing hole. I think for championships it is so intriguing. Anything can happen. Nothing is ever sure. As we look at Lydia Ko now. Slightly downhill, left to right breaker. And this is for birdie to get her to 12 under.
And perhaps playing the last group tomorrow, depending on what happens to Min Ji Lee.
Just didn't break.
Well, some moments of brilliance. A bit of a falter around the turn, bogeying 10 and 12. But yet again, Lydia Ko has put herself in the fight at the Australian Open. She's 2 from the lead as she finishes her 3rd round. Very consistent numbers there, 68, 68, 69.
She has a lot to be satisfied about. But certainly a disappointment here at 18, not to birdie it or eagle it. It's Holly Clyburn now with, oh, perhaps a metre, a little bit over a metre, 3 feet or so to.
And she's the only player, Jane, to have not finished in the red in the top 11 outside of Hedvol, who's still on course at the moment. So she needs this. Oh, and it took a lap of honour, but it went in. So Holly Clyburn does finish 1 under par for the day, 9 under for the tournament, 4 from the lead, and camaraderie all round as the players stride from 18 on this Saturday afternoon in the Victorian capital of Melbourne at the Victoria Golf Club. Our last group have had their troubles. Now Pedersen with her 3rd to 17.
Suzanne Pedersen has 153 metres into this hole. Pin today just 14 on and 4 from the right-hand side. Difficult to get to. She started this just a little bit too far to the left, and it may run past the flag a bit, and it's going to be a really difficult spot to putt from.
There's the assessment. Hedvol's 3rd.
Carolyn Hedwell with just 93 metres to the flag after 2 booming shots down here. Now that is right on line and probably just going to finish just a fraction below the flag.
Oh, that's a zeroing approach. Just spent a little bit too much, but still, chance for birdie for Hedvol to try and stop the right.
Now Min Ji Lee, after driving into the fairway bunker on 18 off the tee, first order of business, get it out. She'll have to settle for being able to just have 3 shots into this 18th hole. It's not the easiest of fairways to hit. You think you've hit a good shot, and there it goes, trundling into the bunker.
Well, Anna Nordqvist's day went downhill terribly with a triple bogey 7 on the par 4 10th. She's also bogeyed 12, bogeyed 13 on this back 9. So what was a promising position at the start of the day after a bogey-free 8 under yesterday. She's 4 under for her third round to that approach. When will her achievements start to phase her? She seemed so cool last week at the Ladies Masters, but this is another step up again. This is an LPGA event. Of course, last week at the Ladies Masters, one of the big events in Australia, a co-sanctioned LET event, but this is co-sanctioned LET, LPGA, it's the National Open. She just seems like she hasn't got any nerves at all about it, this teenager, and perhaps that's the moot point.
Well, that perhaps is the advantage.
I'm thinking 54.
I have 54 for that.
What does it say? Something like 80? No, we'll go a bit more.
You get more out.
Yeah. You'll get to the front.
I like that because you can hit it nice and hard.
Yeah.
Hit it full, it should spin on you too. Okay?
Yeah, but it'll probably run out a little bit.
That's why we want it just down to the right hand side.
At the M?
Just inside the M.
Okay, so at
inside
the M.
Right
Okay.
Yeah, like a fly on the wall. Great to see that communication. Well, a big finish would ensure she starts the final round of her National Open as the leader. Bunker off the tee, splashed out to here, the third of Minjee Lee into the par 5 finisher.
Sounded like good contact. Oh yes, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. She got the spin that she was looking for.
Well, it's an opportunity to go to the outright lead. Now Pedersen trying to move back to 12 under.
Left to right, fairly fast putt. She had the speed part of it correct, but not the line.
And what a story she is telling to the golfing public of Australia. If they didn't know about Minjee Lee, and everyone always tunes in, certainly at this part of the year, to see the back-to-back weeks of the Ladies Masters and the Australian Open, and they could not have been a better, well, she could have won last week, but hey, it's looming as just a wonderful fortnight for her with tomorrow to come. So much expectation. Back to head vault. She needs to stop this rot of bogeys. Ah, yes. And there's a bit of tenacity in the fist pump there of the Swede. So finally, she finds a red number on that scorecard after bogeying 4 of the last 5 holes.
Oh, there's great intensity in both these players. There's no give up. You know that golf's up and down. You're going to have your moments. You need to bounce back. You're going to be able to bounce back from the disappointments and the bad holes. You've got to have a very short memory in golf, Quentin.
Well, Pedersen 1 under for the day. There's Anna Nordqvist on the 18th green. And we'd expect those crowds to really build up tomorrow. There's been some horrendous weather here in Melbourne, and we know wherever you're tuning in around the world, be it in Europe or in the Americas, terrible extremes of weather around the place. But we've had it pretty tough here in Melbourne, particularly last weekend with terrible fires around the place. So it's been pretty kind so far throughout the tournament. Hopefully we get a good day weather-wise tomorrow to ensure that we get the finish, certainly from Mother Nature, that these golfers deserve on this final day to come. Long putt for Nordqvist.
This is for Eagle. See if she can get the right pace. It's so slow. It's almost like you need another club besides the putter. Almost want to chip it. Just kidding, really.
Yeah, but we get your point.
I haven't seen anyone from the back part of the screen, as we've been sitting here during the day, reach the hole.
Before Minjili's birdie putt back to the tee. And our last group on the last hole on Saturday.
Well, I've managed to climb the big hill to get a good view of where these players are going to hit it to. Big dome in the centre of this fairway. Got to be careful of the bunker on the right, careful of the bunker on the left, careful of everything. And that is heading down the right-hand side. It is probably going to find that bunker.
Correct.
It's so difficult. Only just over 57% of the field hit this fairway the first 2 days.
Well, if it wasn't set up enough, what have you got for us, Minjee Lee? How about leading your National Open going into Sunday? This to go to 14 under in the lead. Oh, not quite. Not quite.
A little bit of a wry smile.
But still,
it's okay.
We expect it to be in the last group tomorrow, unless there's something amazing happening in the last group. 68, 67, 68, and a share of the lead at 13 under.
Well, she's got a lot to be proud about. Terrific round of golf today for the young 17-year-old. I'm pretty proud of her as an Aussie. Can't wait for tomorrow. See what's in store now. As a golfer, you can't help but feel for Anna Nordqvist. It was one of those days it just sort of all fell apart starting at number 10.
She was actually pretty solid up to that point. She went through the front 9 in 1 under, and then a couple in the fairway bunker on 10, and she finished with a triple there, and bogey 12 and 13 as well. But that's a good way to finish. 3 over for the day, and 5 under for the tournament, a 75 for Anna Nordqvist. So let's get back to Suzanne Pettersson now on the tee at 18.
Me again. Oh, Jane, they've done it to me again. I've got one right, and this one's coming left to the left bunker.
Wow.
And that is going to be nasty if it doesn't come back down that slope.
That got a huge kick to the left.
That's gone, well, out of screen. We'll catch up with that later. Let's catch up, though, with the Kiwi teenage superstar, Lydia Ko.
Lydia, fairly consistent event so far. How did you find that round?
I actually started off really well. I shot 3 under in the front 9, and then I had a couple of hiccups making 2 bogeys. But then, yeah, I made an eagle on 17, and yeah, I gave myself a good run for it.
Well, I'll just get you to have a look at the monitor now. This is your eagle on the 17th. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, I just hit my 9-iron. I kind of hit a control shot, and yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And then I was kind of wanting it to go in. I had a lot of lip outs the whole day, and I would have been pretty sad if it, made a lip out then too.
There's been a couple of players that have made eagles today. Can you put that down to anything?
I'm not sure. I guess they're playing great, and yeah, I think with mine, you got to have a little bit of luck to it as well. And I don't expect to hole out from 110 out.
Well, you're in a fairly good position heading into the last day. What can we expect from you tomorrow?
I'm just going to have to play consistent and, be patient. The birdies are definitely out there, so yeah, just keep hitting the fairways and get the putts rolling.
Lydia, best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Natalie Yanidis with Lydia Ko, and she was 3rd, 4 shots behind Ji Shin last year. She's in contention again, Ko, and once again there, all over the place. The Nordic pairing have sent Sandy, well, on quests all over the links she knows so well here.
Yeah.
Gee whiz, that looks horrendous.
Yes, and I am seeing every part of this golf course all in one tournament, especially today with these two. Now, this is just a horror lie that Suzanne Pettersson has over on the left-hand side, because a little bit that juts out from the tree is directly in front of her. She can play well out to the right-hand side because this whole fairway slopes right to left. It'll kick it around, but you've got to be really careful of a fairway bunker that sits down short of this green. So not without its challenges over here. The ball is also going to be sitting below her feet slightly on an uphill rise. So all in all, good luck to her.
Remember, Jane, earlier on, we were talking about Jeff Ogilvy, US Open champion, so well knows these courses on the Melbourne Sandbelt, saying, oh, you've got to be a bit conservative around here. And we saw these guys absolutely nailing the fairways earlier on, but
not now.
The Sandbelt comes back to bite you, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And Sandy, it's diabolical down here.
It really is, and I think from the look of it, Suzanne's just going to take a mid-iron, get this out, play it to the right-hand side, probably not give it enough to reach that bunker down near the green, and just give herself a good position for a third shot. Got a little bit of caution too with some overhanging branches. I didn't add those.
Yeah, you can just hear the voice of Suzanne's caddy, Brian Dilley, mentioning that as well.
White flag.
248 metres to the flag, but she's not even going to be thinking about that. It's just going to be positioning and get it on the fairway down there as far as she can, as safely as she can.
Yeah, ball below her feet. Make sure she's got a good firm stance. Keep her balance.
Just caught that fairly heavy, which is not a surprise. It's going to be on the fairway, Jane, but she's going to be a fair way back, but reachable.
Well, I think job done really there.
Yeah, that's about, well, I mean, obviously she'd love to be a little bit further down, but she didn't want to risk hitting it into the face of the bunker or
at least she
too
knows
high and hitting the tree.
It does chase out, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So if she does get a good third, but let's check into head vault.
Well, there are so many things that could have happened with that shot of Suzanne, so anything on the fairway was good. Caroline Hadwell, on the other hand, is on the right-hand side. Now, she's a bit further back, not quite as big a lip on this bunker. I mean, she's still deep in the bunker, but just not quite as severe. She'll be able to get it down there further, but still not realistic to have a go at this green. She's just going in here with an iron, 238 metres to get it at the flag. Again, she'll be looking at positioning it so that she does not get into that short fairway bunker down the fairway.
Yep, that one starts 60 metres.
Yeah, it's about
from the green. Yep.
about 60 metres short of the flag, so she doesn't want to hit this any more than probably about 150, and that'll give it a kick down to the left-hand side of the fairway. But first got to make sure that always with these, it always looks like it's a good idea, but you can make sure you get them out. Oh, good contact. Now that is moving left, fairly well left too. Should be okay over there. It's going to pull up. That's fine.
Yeah, tough angle to approach the flag though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, very, very tight on that left-hand side.
So our last group heading down, 18 on the third round of the Australian Open at Victoria Golf Club in Melbourne. And Chella Choi, well, she's been cooling her heels, watching the other leaders struggle out there. Minjee Lee is with her at 13 under. Seems like forever ago, that 62 of Chella Choi.
It does, doesn't it? That was some hot golf, and Chella, I tell you what, she made everything she looked at, Quentin.
And we can say with well, pretty good certainty now, unless this goes in from Suzanne Pedersen, it will be Lee and Choi to play in the last group tomorrow.
It's playing. It's no more than that. It's playing. I mean, it was almost borderline 9, but I think now it's too soft. 55 front.
Pin's only 10 on.
65.
A little bit of breeze helping. It does play downhill. The green running away from the player.
Yeah, the play here is you've just got to try and land it just either on the fringe. You really don't land on the green here. Maybe a metre on would be the most, because it is going to run around into that right to left corner. So just to the right of the bunker.
It's really tricky hole location today, Sandy.
Oh, it's a ripper. And as soon as I saw that this morning, I went, whoa, nice one. Very hard to get to. 145 metres for Suzanne. Now, it's looking okay. She catch that a little heavy. It's going to depend if it's going to come up shine. It will.
So that's there for 3. A tricky little up and down for Pedersen to stay at 11 under. From the front, and yeah, that tight pin placement front left ensures that this next shot from Caroline Hedvold is a really tricky one with that bunker. You can see now a wonderful panning shot. That's the front of the last hole. And here comes the last group on the penultimate day. Pedersen with 3 front 9 birdies with 1 bogey on 7. Out in a 2 under 34, but coming home. Bogey on 16, and the rest of them pars. So she's only moved from 10 under to 1 under today, when a lot of others have really made the most of what hasn't been too blustery conditions here on this Saturday.
No, it's been certainly a little bit more.
Here's a great illustration. Not much green to work with for Hedvold.
And it slopes all the way away from her as well. Just a metre over that bunker, and it's all downhill, Sandy.
Well, it's just a horrible place to be when you get that far left, and it's a big bunker to carry. And as you said, it's a severe kick off the back of that bunker. And then you've only got, you know, 10 paces of green downhill all the way. So if you can get it to stop between that bunker and that flag, that is going to be some sort of shot. You've really got to expect that's going to run on a little bit, probably going to try and just limit the damage. The other option is, you know, you can always come just fractionally right, but, you know, she's going to be trying to pick up birdie here late in the round, so aggressive player as she is, she might just be right side of the flag a little bit.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I think anything really inside, you know, 15 feet would be a good shot, and the smart play, the percentage play would be, you know, make sure that you get it on the green. Don't try and get too cute with it.
Yeah, anything within that range would be, she'd be more than happy with, because again, it's another hole this could get away from you very easily, or you could take it a little too cute and find yourself in that big bunker, and then with a horrendous bunker shot.
She's got to be careful too, just to put it into context. Currently 2 over for the day. That's the worst round of the top 30 players today. You have to get down to Nordqvist's +3 to find a poorer completed 18 holes of golf on the Saturday. So it really does contextualise just the state of the tournament for this young lady's back 9.
Now, she obviously is going to have a go straight at the flag, because Suzanne's just standing to the right of the bunker and she hasn't asked her to move at all. It's going to, oh, it's going to kick. That is gone. She caught that down. Now, I've got to tell you, she had a lot of work on that to get it to stop there, but that caught that downhill slope quite severely. So there's a massive amount of spin on that ball.
A wry smile. Perhaps she knows she got a friendly turn of fate there. So still a chance to scramble a 5. If she's good enough, she can find a birdie, but yes, I think the way that her back 9's been going, she'd take a 5 and get out of here and try and concentrate and try and relive the glory of yesterday, when she put on a terrific day's golf, 7 under 65 yesterday. But now Pedersen.
Suzanne's got the very lofted club in her hand. She's got to take this bunker quite finely here. Again, you're dealing with the slope off that bunker. It does actually intrude quite a reasonable amount into the green. It'll push the ball left to right and forward. But then you've got to be careful you don't come up too shy, worrying about that and leaving it short. Just going to try and punch it through there. Pretty nice looking shot. You can see that just move away. It'll move around again to the right to left now, but that was very well done.
Yeah, very, very nice effort.
To save par for Pedersen to stay at 11 under. And our last group on the 18th green on the penultimate day. And Hedvol, that for birdie, that'd really help things. Choi and Lee at 13 under. Ko and Pedersen 11 under, but well, Hedvol currently tied for 5th at 9 under. What a logjam. Jenny Shin, Marianne Skarpnord, Mi Hung Lee, Amelia Lewis, Morgan Pressel, Karini Scher, Holly Clyburn, along with Caroline Hedvol, all at -9. If anything, Jane, the last sort of 45 minutes or so has just seen the round of Choi with the two locals, so to speak. Our friend from across the ditch, Lydia Ko, and of course Minjee Lee. Oh, they're the ones that have probably been able to handle the back nine the best today. And well, Pedersen's still out there, but just that little separation of a couple of shots. We didn't have that an hour or so ago.
Still a very makeable putt for the young Swede. This would kind of help things along a little bit.
Certainly has been
mentally,
a tough,
anyway.
Yeah, it's been a tough second half to this round, especially for Caroline Hedvol. Slide a little bit left to right this.
Just didn't break much at all, Sandy. It just stayed right there. It's a tricky green to read, this one, isn't it?
It always has been, Jane. It just looks like the whole thing sits on an angle, and it's just so hard to judge. Is it going to take plenty, or is it just going to be subtle? It's because it looks fairly flat when you're actually on it.
Well, sitting here, sorry, Quentin, I was just saying, sitting here in the commentary box, you can see the pitch. Everything slopes away from the clubhouse down to where we are, to the left of the 18th green. But putt like Hedvol's, I really thought it was going to come down a bit more. So it's got to add a little bit of doubt into Pedersen's mind as she approaches this putt.
5 bogeys, a birdie and 2 pars on the back nine for Hedvol after she turned with 4 birdies.